Hi everyone, Emmy here, also known as 8vinyllow, bringing all of you another video. Today's video is going to be my Record Store Day 2024 vinyl haul video. I did pick up a handful of records yesterday during Record Store Day that I do want to showcase here on this channel. This was the first Record Store Day for me in the last 3 years, I believed, where I actually camped out. The last couple of years now, I've participated in Record Store Day every single year for the last 6-7 years or so. So I haven't missed one, but over the last 3 years, somewhere around there, I haven't actually gone out to line up and do the whole experience. And it's not from not enjoying that. I do enjoy that. It's just that there hasn't been the last few years like major limited needs. And so the last couple of years, maybe I picked up 2 or 3 titles, but they weren't like extremely limited. I didn't feel like I had to go line up, and I was right because I was able to either go to a store later that day or go online and they were available. This year was a little bit different. I did have a need this year, and it was my #1 choice, and I am going to show that a little bit later, so surprise, I did get it. And if you follow me on Instagram, you already saw that I picked it up. That's a little Instagram plug, by the way. Go follow me, eightvinyllow. Anyway, my #1 pick, extremely limited, a popular choice this year, and I knew that I would have to line up. Now, my store only got 1 copy of that release, so it was a no-brainer. So I woke up around 3:30, I think, on Record Store Day. Made some coffee, of course, and grabbed my blanket, grabbed my lawn chair, and went out to stand in line. I think I got to my record store around 4:15, and I was about 20 or 30 people back. A lot of younger people were in front of me, so not that they wouldn't listen to Tinted Windows, right? But obviously the Noah Khan and the Olivia Rodrigo, I could tell, and as I was listening to conversations, like that was a major pick, right? And so there were a couple of people that I was kind of eyeing a little bit, and you guys do this too. If you line up for Record Store Day, you guess what people in front of you are gonna get. I'm sure everybody thought I was there for the 1975 or something. But there were a couple of people I was a little concerned about, and knowing that my store only got 1 copy, being 20 people back in line, I was a little freaked out. And like I said, I still got there around 4. I think the first person in line there, it was a father and his 10 or 11-year-old daughter who were first in line. They wanted the Beatles turntable, the mini turntable. They did end up getting it, of course, first in line, but they got there at like 10 p.m. or 11 p.m. the night before, so well-deserved on their end. I wasn't going to do that for this release, but 4 a.m. for a 8 a.m. store opening was fair to me. But anyway, I'm going to stop blabbering about that. Long story short, it had been a while since I'd gone to camp out for Record Store Day. It's always a fun experience, right? You meet people in line, you start up conversations, you talk music, people are excited. I love Record Store Day. I know that I've shared that a handful of times on this channel. People love it, people don't. I love it. I see value in it, and I think it's fun. But with that, I did end up getting my #1 pick, so I am going to showcase that as well as some other pickups here in this video. My #1 pick this year that I did end up scoring, the only copy that my store got, was this Tinted Windows first time on vinyl release. This is a Record Store Day exclusive. This was limited to 1,800 copies. Tinted Windows, this album originally came out in 2009. It is a rock supergroup made up of James from the Smashing Pumpkins, Taylor Hanson from Hanson, Adam from Fountains of Wayne, and then of course there's always a Cheap Trick connection right with me, and this is why this is a major need on my list from this year. Bunny Carlos, original drummer of Cheap Trick, he plays drums on this album. So I had heard rumors that this was going to be coming out for Record Store Day, or at least getting released on vinyl. a couple of months prior to the official list coming out. So I was kind of getting excited. I was anticipating something. So when the official list came out and I saw that this was going to be a Record Store Day exclusive, I knew that I was in. I was all in, of course. And then I saw that it was limited to 1,800 copies, and I started to get a little nervous. But it all worked out in the end. Tinted Windows, first time on vinyl release, originally from 2009. The really cool thing about this, and there's the back, there are the guys. The really cool thing about this release, this Record Store Day release, is that it includes 2 bonus tracks that was on the original import of this album when it came out. So they did add those tracks on here, and I just think that that's a really cool addition. It did come with insert lyrics here, and what else was I going to say about this? Oh, yeah, it is on this. This is what I was going to say. You can tell I'm so prepared. It is on this black and red colored vinyl, which I love. I love this. Obviously, I wanted this release for so many reasons. Number 1 pick, I love the album. I love Bunny Carlos. But come on, look at how awesome that is. So that definitely sealed the deal for me. If you aren't familiar with this album, definitely check it out. It has this alt-rock, power poppy feel to it. My favorite song off of this album is number 4, side A, Can't Get a Read on You. So good, so catchy. I love this album. So number 1 pick, only copy that my store had. I feel so lucky. I'm so excited. This made Record Store Day for me. Tinted Windows. Yay. This next album was not on my original list. My original want list for this year only included 2 albums. It included the Tinted Windows, and it included another release that I will showcase here a little bit later. This next album, not on my original list, but I was so intrigued by it. So as I was going through the list like a couple of weeks before Record Store Day, you start to kind of notice things that you didn't really notice before, and this one just kept sticking out to me, and I finally made the decision when I was in line. I was like, I'm gonna pick this up. The album is Alex Chilton. This is his 1993 album. This is also a first time on vinyl release, 1993 album, Clichés. So solo Alex Chilton. If you aren't familiar with Alex Chilton, he was part of Big Star. He was part of the Box Tops. He's an amazing, influential singer and songwriter in his own right. I knew nothing about this album going into this. Absolutely nothing. I knew that it was a solo release. I knew that it came out in the 1990s. I did not stream this album before buying it. I'm like, I'm just going to go in blind and we're going to see what this is. I was pleasantly surprised by it. It is not at all what I thought that it was going to be, but I was pleasantly surprised by it, and I do really enjoy this. Real quickly, for Record Store Day purposes, this was a limited run regional release. It's limited to 1,500 copies. I think originally it was going to be like 900, but the hype sticker says that it is limited to 1,500. So I'm going to go with that. I think it's 1,500 copies. It does come on this, what they're calling burnt orange vinyl. Really nice looking vinyl there. Custom center label. But I'm going to read off the hype sticker here, and it's going to explain to you guys what this is about. Okay. It says 1993's Clichés is an all-acoustic affair from Alex Chilton, the former member of Big Star and the Box Top, channels Chet Baker's vocal approach while visiting the Great American Songbook. So when I put this on, basically this is Alex Chilton doing 40s and 50s love songs. It's all acoustic, it's just him, 40s and 50s love songs. He also has a couple of instrumentals on here, one of which is a guitar Bach. There's also a Christmas song on. He covers a Christmas song. So not at all what I was expecting, but I actually really enjoyed this album, so I'm happy to add it to the collection. It is a fun, warm release, and definitely stood out to me this year. So Alex Chilton, Cliches. This next release is one that I truly did not believe that I was going to get. I kind of joked around about it with some people. I was like, I'm not gonna get this. I'll put it on my list, right? It'd be fun to get, but I'm not gonna get this. One, was probably the most popular Record Store Day release, especially amongst the VC here, vinyl community. I heard a lot of people talking about this. And just how limited it was. Limited to 1,500 copies. I was like, there's no way. Well, apparently I was right about the people in front of me not wanting any of these releases, because I got the only copy my store had of this. So the store that I go to, you go to the counter and they make it for you, which I, as I've gotten older, do enjoy over like elbowing people and having people like breathe down my neck. So when I asked for this release, I was thinking, oh, they'll say like, oh no, that was gone like 20 people ago. They put it in my hand and I was like, whoa. And then they crossed it off their list, meaning that was the only one. That is, of course, the Gandalf release, or also referred to as Gandhi in the circles that be. 1969 self-titled psych pop elements of prog a little bit album. So fun psych pop album. It does say on the hype sticker, it says dripping psychedelic pop. It's not that drippy for me, but it is poppy, and it does obviously have that pop psych feel to it. All analog process from the original master tapes. Of course, the big draw here is the cut by Kevin Gray. It got the Kevin Gray treatment, as we call it, and it is on this limited grass color vinyl edition. Really, really nice looking vinyl. So again, limited to 1,500 copies. It is a Record Store Day first release, so it will come out again. So if this is on your list, you will be able to pick this up. But just a really cool addition to the collection that I was not anticipating going in. The last Record Store Day release that I picked up was number 2 on my original list. Number 1 was Tinted Windows. Number 2 was this release, and that is Not Ready for Prime Time. This is the Replacements live album at the Cabaret Metro in Chicago, January 1986. I love the Replacements. I love picking up the Record Store Day releases for the Replacements. I know they put out a live album, maybe last Record Store Day not too long ago. I really like the Bob Stinson Bleeding Hearts release that they put out for Record Store Day. So love the Replacements. Wanted to pick this up. 1986. This is part of their Tim tour. Includes the original lineup. It is a 2 LP limited edition set. It is a Record Store Day exclusive. It is a gatefold. I'm not going to showcase that in this video, so if you're a gatefold person, go find another video that covers this. With the Record Store Day releases, I like keeping the shrink on and having the hype sticker. That's just personal preference. Let me know if you do too, or if you just rip it all off. Even like other releases with cool hype stickers, I'll generally keep that on. You've probably noticed in my videos, but especially the Record Store Day releases, I love having that hype sticker on it. It's just one of my quirky things. But it is a 2 LP. Does have the custom center labels, just standard black vinyl. Would have been cool to have like a pink and yellow vinyl now that I'm thinking about it. That would have been cool. But very happy to add this to the collection. I do want to share one other pickup, Record Store Day pickup, not an exclusive title, but an album that I picked up at my store on Record Store Day, used record, that I think is super, super cool. So the album that I picked up, now there's nothing really cool. I mean, it's a good album, right? Brian Wilson, No Peer Pressure. This originally came out in 2015. If you know me, you know that I love and adore Brian Wilson. I love that man so much. I did not have No Peer Pressure before picking this up. It was not, I knew that I was going to get it one day. It was nothing that I felt crunched on time to pick up, to say the least. But it was $35. It was in the used bin of a local store. I popped around to a couple of local stores for Record Store Day, and the one that I found, or the place that I found this album, does not do like the big record store day exclusive titles type thing, but they do sales, and I do like to go there and pick up a couple albums to support them. But this was marked at $35, and for this album I thought, now it's a double LP, but for this album I thought that was like a little steep. And I did notice, right, this is the Barnes & Noble exclusive. The hype sticker says Barnes & Noble exclusive autographed copy. But I'm like, okay, for $35, the signed 12x12 flat that came with this can't be in there. So it just must be because it's the Barnes & Noble, and then they kind of set that price. I'm like, I'm just gonna check anyway. And so I go in, it was already open. I go in, and sure enough, the signed Brian Wilson 12x12 flat is in there. So I just thought it was the coolest thing. Like, I have so many pieces of memorabilia, autographs that I've collected over the years, a lot of Brian Wilson and Beach Boys stuff and albums, but I did not have Brian Wilson's autograph. And it is something that I have wanted for years, and I basically came to the conclusion I was never going to obtain, right? Definitely not in person, like that was a sure deal. But just the prices and buying on the secondhand, I'm like, I'm never gonna get his autograph. $35, not only do I get to add no peer pressure to the collection, but I also have now his authentic autograph. So that was, in my opinion, outside of the tinted windows, let's be honest, but in my opinion, this is the coolest just used vinyl record store day find for me in like a couple of years. So much fun. Not only that, but when I got home, I opened it back up, I pulled this out, and then these pictures came out with it. Now, this did not come with the original album. Whoever turned this album in or sold it off to the store or whatever else, stuck these photos in with the album. So sometimes you find notes, a lot of the times, right, you'll find like ticket stubs, just cool little like pieces of memorabilia that people stick into their vinyl. But in this case, it was photos, which from what I'm assuming is the actual No Peer Pressure tour. It seems about right with looking at how Brian looks in these photos. So here's one of them that was in there. There were two of those, and then another one. So I just thought that was the coolest find. Obviously, the pictures are cool, but signed Brian Wilson album flat, and then an album, $35 altogether. That was awesome. And that is my Record Store Day 2024 vinyl haul video. Let me know in the comments below what you guys ended up doing for Record Store Day, if you ended up going out, if you ended up going out early, lining up, whatever the experience is. I'm trying to catch up on some Record Store Day videos too, so I'm sure I'll pop in if you do make those and say hi. But let me know in the comments below, how did it go? How was the experience? What albums did you pick up? Did you pick up anything that I ended up grabbing? Let me know. I love talking to you guys. But that is it for this video. I hope that all of you are doing well, and I will see you all for my next video. Bye, guys.